Most cloud risks don't announce themselves as outages. They don't show up as a big red banner saying, "You're about to be on fire." They sit there quietly in public buckets, broad IAM policies, forgotten networks, and resources nobody will admit to owning. That's the problem we inherited with infrastructure. On paper, you have Terraform. In reality, you have a partial treasure map of a much bigger, slightly cursed estate. Some things were built properly, some things were clicked together during an incident and never spoken of again, and some things were changed by a team that no longer exists. Some are still running because nobody wants to find out what depends on them, and then someone asks a very reasonable question: can we make this secure? Before you can answer that, you need to know something much more basic. What actually exists? Who owns it, and what is the risk? The classic mistake is trying to fix the estate before you understand it, because if your map is incomplete, every change is partly a guess. And in production, guess is just a polite way of spelling incident. So the first step is not a Terraform refactor. It is not a heroic migration project. It is not asking every team to stop shipping features while platform engineering rebuilds the world properly. The first step is read-only discovery. Read-only discovery matters because it changes the politics of the problem. You're not asking for a mandate to redesign everything. You're not asking for broad write permissions. You're not asking to own every resource from day one. Congratulations, you now own 400 mystery S3 buckets. You're saying, let's look first. Let's connect safely. Let's see what exists, and let's compare what is running against what is documented. Let's identify what is managed, what's unmanaged, and what was clearly created during a very stressful Friday afternoon. That's the difference between control and theatre. Control starts with knowing what is real. Theatre starts with a slide saying Cloud Security Initiative 2026 and ends with a spreadsheet nobody ever updates. Discovery is great. Context is better. Once discovery is running, you hit the next problem, context. A raw list of cloud resources is useful, but it is also the fastest way to feel like you've lost an argument with AWS EC2 describe instances. Knowing you have 73 security groups, 9 load balancers, 6 Kubernetes clusters, and a suspiciously immortal NAT gateway is not the same as understanding the environment. You need to know what belongs together. What is managed by Terraform? What is created outside of it? What changed recently? What is exposed and what has no owner? What looks normal and what looks like archaeology with an AWS bill attached to it? This is where formae becomes quite useful. The point is not AI magic, the point is giving the AI something reliable to work with. If Claude is just guessing from general cloud knowledge, it can give you plausible advice. Sometimes that's helpful, and sometimes it's just a very confident intern with a keyboard. But if Claude has access to current infrastructure context through an MCP, the conversation changes. Now you're not asking what might be wrong in a typical cloud estate, you're asking what is risky in this estate. And that is a much better question. It's also the kind of question a platform team, security engineer, or tech lead can ask before touching production and accidentally turning off payroll. Once you have context, you can start asking useful questions, not vague prompts like, how do I secure AWS? That gets you a blog post, a checklist, and zero insight into your chaos. You want questions that are specific to the estate in front of you, like which resources are publicly exposed, which IAM policies look too broad, which resources are not managed by Terraform. What would you check first in a security review? Where do we have production-looking infrastructure with no obvious owner? This is where Claude with MCP gets interesting. You're not asking the model to hallucinate a cloud assessment from memory. You are giving it a structured way to inspect the current environment through formae's context. Instead of opening the cloud console, 3 Terraform repos, and someone's half-finished migration plan from 2022, you can ask the estate questions in plain language. And that matters because this is how security reviews actually start. Not with a perfect architecture diagram, with suspicion, why is this public, who owns that role, why does this service account have access to everything? The value is not that Claude magically knows your infrastructure. The value is that formae gives it enough context to become useful. It can surface what a human should inspect first, group related resources, point out unmanaged assets, and move you from we should probably look at security to these are the first 5 things I would investigate. That is very different from dumping a massive Terraform plan into someone's lap and saying, good luck, don't break anything. Once you have that list, it's very tempting to turn it into a heroic cleanup project. rewrite the Terraform, rename everything, delete the weird stuff, achieve beautiful infrastructure and inner peace. Sometimes, yes, you do need a bigger migration, but that's not where I'd start. Inherited infrastructure has one very annoying property. Some of the ugly bits are important. That badly named security group might be protecting a production workload. That strange network rule might be the only reason a critical integration still works. That nightmare IAM policy might be holding together 3 legacy systems and a quarterly revenue target. So the goal is not to make the estate beautiful on day one. The goal is to make better decisions. What is exposed? What is unmanaged? What is over-permissioned? And what is genuinely dangerous? What can be fixed safely now? And what needs an owner before anyone touches it? What should be left alone until you start to understand the whole dependency chain and who will shout if you break it? This is where the workflow becomes practical. You are not ripping Terraform out. You are not pretending the Cloud Console never happened. You are not declaring a 6-month security freeze that everyone quietly ignores. You are giving the organization a way to catch up. Developers can still move quickly, but platform and security teams get a clearer view of what exists, what changed, and where the risk sits. That is the real agility without the theatre. Not move fast and hope, not governance by spreadsheet. A loop where you discover what exists, understand the risks, make the smallest safe changes, keep improving from a place of knowledge. So if you've inherited cloud infrastructure you do not fully trust, don't start trying to fix everything at once. Start by finding out what exists. Use read-only discovery, build the context, ask better questions, find the public exposure, broad permissions, unmanaged resources, and things nobody clearly owns. Then decide what to fix first. Because the safest infrastructure change is not the biggest one. It's the one made with the clearest understanding of what you're actually changing. That's the workflow formae is aiming at. Discover first, understand the risks, and then change from a position of knowledge. If you're managing an estate that has grown faster than its documentation, this is the moment to look at formae. Not because AI replaces platform engineering, because platform engineering becomes much more useful when it finally has the full picture, and fewer mystery workloads haunting the account. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this useful, please do like and subscribe, and until next time, stay merge ready.